So one of my problems was, like, I loved doing long, easy rides, and I pretty much had that dialed. Like, I could go out and do a long, easy ride, and eat like a bunch of donuts. Like, I could do that whenever I had the time to do it, and
Yeah.
I'd be all good. But I really hated doing like aerobic intervals, like like tempo threshold kind of thing. But I
Yeah.
really loved sprinting, so I would pretty much do long rides and sprints, and and that's kind of like those are really good things to do when you're training for any different kind of mountain biking. But I did way too many sprints. So I'd come into the season, into the mountain bike season, having done like a huge base, and I'd get into the first couple races, and we were racing a lot, and my first couple races would go really well, and I'd be thinking to myself, oh, this is awesome, because now I'm going to start doing my sprints, and I'm just going to get way better. So I'd finish a race on the weekend, come home, do my sprints, race again, and the race would go okay, right? So a couple weeks, and the races would progressively get a little bit worse. Long rides, races, sprints, long rides, races, sprints. And I'd get into the middle of the summer, and I would just be going backwards. And I just didn't understand. So the only answer to me was to do more sprints, right?
Yeah, I know.
It makes sense. It makes absolute sense. Like, if you are slow, you need to go harder. And like, I couldn't really put two and two together because I didn't understand what was happening. So I'd look at my heart rate, and I'd be doing like this all out, like 5-minute effort, which, now that we understand power, we know that's not a sprint. And I'd hit it as hard as I possibly could. And, I'd be looking at my heart rate and be like, normally I can get it over 200, but now it's at like 170. I guess I'm not trying hard enough. Right? So I'd try harder, and then, I'd finish the session, be like, yeah, well, I went pretty hard. That should be good. And it was just a downward spiral for about a year. And I found myself at the national championships, pretty much out the back, was going nowhere up the hills. And pretty much for a really long time, I just couldn't ride, and I didn't understand it. I thought I was sick. So I was going to all these specialists. I went to a chronic disease specialist. I went to like this weird, like homeopathic, like specialist. We just thought I was sick. They thought I had like some weird virus. And then they checked my heart, and they found something, like I had this same blockage that you told me you had, a bundle branch blockage, which just kind of means you have a developed heart from training. And we thought that was the problem. But it was a really sad cycle where I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't performing well in the thing that I really wanted to do well at, and I just got really depressed.